Hello students, today we are going to start the next part of the chapter aggregate demand and related concept. In the previous videos I have explained you about propensities of aggregate demand, aggregate supply, propensity of consumption as well as propensity to save. Now today we are going to understand the relationship between consumption and saving propensities, and we will also understand how the saving curve is derived from consumption curve. First is relationship between APC and APS. We know Y is equal to C plus S. This I have explained you in first video. When all the sides and all the units will be divided by Y, we will get C divided by Y, which is the formula of APC, S divided by Y, which is formula of APS, and Y divided by Y is equal to 1. So it shows that there is indirect relationship between APC and APS. The reason behind this is the part of income which is consumed, the leftover part is saved, because income has two parts, either it can be consumed or it can be saved. Same way, there is indirect relationship between MPC and MPS. MPC is actually change in consumption. MPS is change in saving by income, change in consumption by income. So we are talking about change as we are talking about the marginal part of consumption and saving. So here, when change in income will be divided by change in income, it will be equal to 1. Change in consumption by change in income is MPC, and changing saving by change in income is MPS. So again the same relationship is established. MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. It means that when one will increase, other will definitely decrease. The reason behind this is the same. Now let us understand how to derive the consumption and saving equation. First, let us see the consumption equation part. Consumption has two parts, as we have read this earlier. One part is the part which is kept autonomous, and other part is the induced part which increase with increase in income. So when Y will be equal to 0 or when Y is equal to 0, that part of consumption is the autonomous part. It means that this is that part of consumption which a person will definitely consume whether he is earning the income or not. This is shown here as we have the consumption curve. We can see this part is the consumption part. This part shows that the consumption curve has to start from above the origin, and that particular value from which the consumption part is starting from above the origin is the autonomous consumption. So first part of consumption is the autonomous consumption. Second part of the consumption is induced consumption. Induced consumption means which get affected by income. So when income will increase, consumption will also increase, but increase in consumption is definitely at low rate, less rate than that of income, because when income will keep on increasing, definitely a part of income will be saved. So when we are talking about increase in income and increase in consumption, it means we are talking about the additional income or additional consumption which is coming to marginal values. So MPC is change in consumption is to change in income. Keeping these two parts in mind, the consumption equation can be derived like this. Total consumption, that is big consumption, is equal to autonomous consumption, means A part, the consumption which is kept autonomous, and second part is that part of consumption which is depending on the increase in income or which is proportionate to increase in income. So MPC multiplied by Y, because the rate is dependent or proportionate to income, and MPC is change in consumption by change in income. So this is the consumption function, the equation of consumption function. Next is the saving function. Saving function or equation of saving function can be derived with the help of equation of consumption, because we know income is equal to consumption plus saving. So y is equal to c plus s. When we take s aside, s is equal to y minus c. S is y minus, here on place of c I am keeping the value of the equation which we have derived from consumption. This is autonomous c plus MPC into y, and when we will keep on solving this equation, we will get that saving is equal to minus autonomous consumption plus MPS into y, or we can write MPS is equal to 1 minus MPC. This depends on the values which we are having when we are going to do the numerical questions. If we are having the value of MPS, we can take it directly. If we are having value of MPC, then we can apply the second part. So this is the saving equation. If you want to understand it more elaborately, just see how it has been derived. I have opened the bracket here. Y is equal to minus multiplied by autonomous consumption is now minus. This minus plus have become minus. Here we have just shifted the places of the alphabets. Here we have taken minus c here on first part, and y is as positive is being shifted here, and minus MPC is kept wherever it is. Here in next part, next step, we have taken y as common, so it is now coming to 1 minus MPC into y. So this is the equation of saving. Now let us derive saving curve from consumption curve. This is the consumption curve. It is very simple, as I have explained you in my previous video. This is 45-degree line, the income line. It is always 45-degree line. Consumption curve is starting from above the origin because of presence of autonomous consumption. Then it keep on increasing with increase in income, but at low rate because the part of income is saved. Both intersect at break-even point. This point is the point where y is equal to c. It means whole of the income is consumed and saving is 0. So this is the BEP point. This break-even point is to be dragged in other graph, and here you should see the saving as is 0 at BEP. The conditions of BEP are, first, the income is equal to consumption. It means that whole of the income is consumed and nothing is saved. So saving is 0. So this should intersect, this line which we are dragging down should intersect at x-axis, which is the income line. Here income and saving both are having the relationship. Income is presence but saving is 0 because whole of the income is consumed. The consumption part, the autonomous consumption part, which we have taken above the origin, that same value is now below the origin, because whatever is consumed at 0 level of income, it shows this saving. This is the reason it is coming below the origin in the negative intersect, in the negative quadrant, and this point is to be matched, and we have to draw the saving line. In this way, from consumption curve, we can derive the saving curve. Next part of the chapter is investment function. Investment means the expenditure which is done on creation of new capital assets. I am again repeating, the assets should be new capital assets. We are not talking about the repairing or second hand purchase of the assets. So on creation of new capital asset, whatever expenditure is incurred in the economy is called as investment function. Investment has two categories. First is induced investment. Induced investment means which depends on the increase in income. If the level of income increases, the investment will also increase because it is done for the profit motive. So the important points are, it depends on the profit expectations and it is directly influenced by level of income. So as it is depending on the income, we say it is income elastic. See the graph, the diagram which I have prepared. The income is increasing here Y2 Y1. So the investment expenditure is also increasing from M to M1. So investment is a straight line, but it is moving upward, or it is moving as per the behavior of the income. If income will decrease, it may also decrease theoretically, but practically it is not possible because always the technology keep on becoming high. It keep on going to the developing part, the development part, but it never comes down. Second part of investment is autonomous investment. Autonomous investment means that investment which is not done for the profit motive. So it is not influenced by the profit motive. This is the reason it is generally done by the government, keeping in view the social welfare of the people. It is income inelastic. It is not affected by change in income and it is not induced by profit motive. So these are the two categories of investment function. The next very important thing we need to understand about investment is determinants of investment. Determinants of investment make us understand whether we should go for the particular investment or not. Investment is always done by the firm sector, and the money which is invested is always in a big amount, the large amount, because here we are creating an asset. The creation of asset is being done. So let us understand the determinants of investment. There are two factors on which the investment depends. First is marginal efficiency of investment, which we call MEI. MEI is actually the percentage which the firm will be able to earn after doing that investment, and it is always calculated in percentage. So MEI is always having two factors. The expected rate of return from additional investment means investment is already done. There is no economy with or no firm with 0% investment. So we are talking about the additional investment. This is the reason marginal word is added here. So when we are going to find out the expected rate of return from the additional investment which we are going to make now, on which we are working here, it has two factors. First is the supply price. Supply price is simple, the value which is to be invested, the amount which is to be invested for producing or replacing new asset. Next is the prospective yield. The second part is prospective yield. Prospective yield means the net return. We are talking about the net return which is expected over lifetime of the asset. So net here means we are not only calculating the amount which will be inflowed, but we are also talking about the amount which will be outflowed or as expenditure to be made on this particular amount of income which we are earning. So let us take an example of this to make it more clear. If supply price is 10,000. It means we are going to purchase the machinery for 10,000 rupees. Prospective yield is 1,000. This I have shown you very clearly that the net value is taken because return is 1200 and the expenditure which will be made to get this return is 200, say. So the net return is 1000. Now we need to calculate the percentage of the return of the investment. So we are going to calculate MEI. We are taking 1000, that is the return, net return, divided by supply price, that is 10,000, the cost of the machinery. So by investing 10,000 rupees, we will be able to get 10% of it. The second factor is rate of interest. ROI, a rate of interest is that amount which will be financed and on which the interest will be paid. Cost of borrowing money for purchasing the asset means when my investment will be financed, the amount which we will be required to pay as interest, that is rate of interest. Now by keeping these two factors in mind, first factor is MEI which we have calculated. Second factor is rate of interest, that is the cost of borrowing. We should understand whether we have to do the investment or we should not do it. If MEI, that is the return which we are going to get, the net return is more than that of rate of interest, then it is the profitable investment. Otherwise, in second case, if MEI is less than that of ROI, we should not go for the investment because it will not be profitable for us. Let me make it more clear. If MEI we have calculated is 10% and rate of interest which we are paying for getting this machinery is suppose 8%, then this 2% margin will be profitable for us and we will be able to explore more further. So we can have future prospectus with this 2%. But if MEI is 10% and rate of interest is 12%, then this 2% minus 2% amount which we will be required to pay from our pocket will create losses in the organization. So we should not go for it as it is non-profitable. Now we have understood about the investment and its determinants. There is one more important term which is again and again used when we talk about aggregate demand and its related concept, that is ex ante and ex post saving and investment. Ex ante saving is that amount of saving which households or the savers plan to save at different levels of income in the economy. This is actually the planned saving. Same way, ex ante investment also refers to the investment which firms plans to invest at different levels of income in the economy. This saving, ex ante saving and ex ante investment are not the actual saving or investment. These are only the planned ones. So in an economy, equilibrium is determined when planned saving is equal to planned investment. Both these concepts are equal on an equilibrium level of income because generally saving is done by household and investment is done by firms. So savers and investors are different people with different priorities. Saving is made in small amount and investment is always made in big amounts. As I have mentioned earlier, saving is made for meeting future uncertain events or contingencies, whereas investment is made for profit motive. So these are not always equal to each other. They are equal only at equilibrium level. Whereas ex post saving is the actual or realized saving in an economy during a year, and ex post investment is actual or realized investment in an economy during a year. It must be noted that exposed saving and exposed investment are equal at all the levels of income. This equality between the two is brought by fluctuations in the economy. Next, there are full employment and involuntary employment. Full employment is a situation in which all those people who are willing and able to work at the existing wage rate get work without any undue difficulty. The term full employment is generally used in the sense that there is no employment in the economy. It means everyone gets work. It means demand for labor is equal to its supply. But when we talk about macroeconomics, there can be some types of unemployment even during full employment. It means full employment does not stand for zero unemployment or 100% unemployment. Under full employment, there can be two types of unemployments. First is frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment refers to the temporary unemployment which exists during the period wherein workers leave one job and join some other. It arises due to labor market imperfections such as lack of market information about availability of jobs and lack of perfect mobility on the part of workers. It may happen because of introduction of new machines, nationalization in production process, or breakdown of plant, because of which some people get unemployed for a particular period. Second type is structural unemployment. It refers to the unemployment in which people remain unemployed due to mismatch between the unemployed persons and the demand for specific type of workers. It is actually attached with the or associated with the structural changes in the economy. For example, because of computerization or introduction of new machineries, workers who do not possess enough skills or knowledge related to that particular machineries or computers will become unemployed until they do some computer course or trainings, or they get knowledge about the machineries. So the presence of these two types of unemployment is referred to as natural rate of unemployment. There is one more kind of unemployment, which is involuntary unemployment. Involuntary unemployment refers to an unemployment in which all those people who are willing and able to work at the existing wage rate do not get the work. Under this unemployment, people are rendered unemployed against their wishes or under compulsion. It must be noted that only involuntary unemployment is considered while estimating the total unemployment in an economy. Voluntary employment, on the other hand, refers to a situation when a person is unemployed because he is not willing to work at the existing wage rate, but it is not counted while estimating the size of unemployment. As this chapter is comprising of some practical questions also, let us have a look at all the categories of practical questions. First is, you may get the table in which some values will be missing and you will be required to calculate the missing values through the data given. So here in this question, the levels of income is given to us and the value of MPC is given. Moreover, the first value of saving is given, that is minus 90. We are required to calculate other values of saving and APS. So let us start. All the levels of income are given to us. MPC is given. As MPC is given, we can easily calculate MPS because MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. So 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4 and the same is carried forward at all the levels as both are same. Next is, as we are provided with MPC and MPS, we can only calculate change in saving from this data. Change in income is already with us. So MPS is change in saving by change in income. 0.4 is the value of MPS. Taking S, change in saving, as X, let us apply the values in the formula. We will get 40, which is change in saving. Now first unit of saving is, first value of saving is given to us, that is minus 90, and when we will implement this change in saving in this, let us add 40 in minus 90. Next value will be minus 50. Again add 40 in minus 50. Next value will be minus 10. Again, when at third level of income, we will add 40 in minus 10. We will get 30. So by this we can calculate the value of saving. Next is APS. Now we are having the values of saving. We are also having value of income. So we can apply the formula APS is equal to saving divided by income, and we can find out all the values. Second category of question may be, if consumption is equal to 100 plus 0.6y, then what will be the value of MPC and MPS? We know MPC plus MPS is equal to 1, and in consumption function, the consumption equation, always we apply first unit as autonomous consumption plus this is value of MPC and it is multiplied by y. So MPC is given to us 0.6. So automatically MPS will be 0.4 because MPS plus MPC is equal to 1. So by applying this, we can derive saving equation. When we will apply the same values in saving equation, the first unit, that is consumption, which was autonomous, considered autonomous in consumption equation, will now become minus autonomous here. So we have taken minus 100 plus, you can take 1 minus 0.6 or you can take directly 0.4, that is value of MPS multiplied by y. Third category of question which may appear in the examination may be, if national income is 80 crores and consumption expenditure is 64 crores, find APS. We are asked to calculate APS. The formula of APS is saving divided by income. So here we are having consumption and income, the value of income and consumption. So when out of income we deduct consumption, we will get saving, that is 80 minus 64 divided by the value of income, that is 16 by 80, it is 0.2. Next part says, if income rises to 100 crore and consumption to 78 crores, what will be APC and MPC? So here we are talking about the additional values when we are required to calculate MPC. In APC, we can apply the direct values. APC is consumption by income. So now we are going to take the new level of consumption and new level of income, which is 78 divided by 100. So resultant is 0.78. In MPC, we need to apply change in consumption by change in income. So change in consumption is 78 minus 64 divided by change in income, that is 100 minus 80, that is 14 divided by 20, 0.70. So I hope the chapter is very clear to you, because this was the last video of this chapter. We have completed it. In my next video, we will start with the next chapter of the same unit. Thank you.